from humble beginnings to learning from your failures to becoming a great success. What is your success story? Chip Baker, The Success Chronicles. What's your definition of success?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Chip Baker coming to you with another episode of the Success Chronicles. And today we have Mrs. Khadijah Polly with us of Kay's Kettle Corn.
Yes.
And she has a pretty good story with her business, and I'll let her explain that to you because it's a good one. If you could just let's dive right into it. If you could just talk to us about your life story, where you're from, how you grew up, your education. I know you went to a pretty good college there.
I did.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you don't mind sharing that with us.
Okay. Well, like you said, my name is Khadijah Polly, and I'm from Los Angeles, California. I've been in Houston since about '06. After high school, I went to Grambling State University in Grambling, Louisiana, and I have a Bachelor's of Science in Marketing. So I'm here in Houston and basically just living my dreams. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur since I was like 10. And so I can remember my earliest memory of entrepreneurship was selling bracelets on the beach in California with my sister.
Right.
And so just from then on, as a kid, I've always known that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Never thought it would be popcorn, but I'm so glad that it is.
Right. So just a hustler mentality.
Always.
Of finding ways to get it done and getting things popping.
Get it popping. Everything I have popping. I have popping necklaces. My license plate is popcorn. All things popcorn. I think that's the marketing that comes out in everything that I do.
Yeah, I was preparing for the Chronicle interview, and it's crazy. Like everything I thought of, I was making popcorn and that. Let's get it popping.
Let's get it popping. It's so much fun. Like popcorn is so much fun, and it's just so many ways you can take it.
Yeah. So as far as your career, if you could just talk to us a little about your company now and what you do.
Okay, so my company is called Kay's Kettle Corn, and I started it in 2012 at home on my stove, and now I'm in my warehouse. So it's literally one of those stories that, okay, I'm going to quit this job and, try to do this thing full time. But I started, again, like I said, I've always been an entrepreneur.
Right.
And so, and I've always been a snacker. So I love snacks. So if it wasn't popcorn, it was probably going to be chips. Like I was going to have a chip company because I can snack all day long.
That's good.
And one day in 2012, I had another business. It was a budget-friendly weddings resale shop in Traders Village Flea Market. And I noticed that, they had their kettle corn. People were walking around eating it. And I wanted some. I was closing my store down, but I didn't want to turn back around to go get it. So as I was leaving the parking lot, I was like, I can make this. I can figure this out. So I went home, got on. You can find everything on Google. You can Google anything.
No doubt.
So I went to Google it to figure out how to make kettle corn. And traditionally, it's made outside in the fairs. You see them at the farmer's market, the big pots and all of that.
Yeah.
And so I researched it and was able to make it at home on my stove. And I just changed some recipes out, changed the oil, changed the salt, just to make it a little, just how I like it. Burnt a whole bunch of batches. I burnt a lot of popcorn. And if you've ever burnt popcorn, that smell stays for a little bit. But, I kept going. I kept going until I got the flavor that I liked. And then I started giving it away to my friends. And literally at my friend's baby shower, one of my sorority sisters, Heather, is about to pop. I made those favors for her. And that was in October of 2012. I think it was October 2012, and In my mind, I was like, oh, this would be a good business. You know, I knew that I was going to have it as a business one day.
Right.
But, you know, sometimes we could put that off one day, and then I was giving it away, baby shower. They're like, you need to launch this at homecoming. I'm like, I am. No, you need to do it now. So a couple months later, took popcorn to homecoming, sold out. So it literally has been popping ever since then.
Literally. You know, you talked about the burning popcorn. You know, when applying that to success, you know, really there's no success without failures.
Exactly.
And so, you know, if you hadn't gone through and, you know, trial and error and tried those things and stunk up the kitchen, you know, you wouldn't have been as popping.
You're right.
You know, so, man, that was pretty good. Huh? Is that right? Wouldn't have been as popping as you are now. And it was a really good product, first of all.
Thank you.
I've tried it, and things are going great for you. What are 3 things that you've accomplished in your life that you're proud of?
3 things. One was college. I have my bachelor's. My undergrad is in marketing from Grambling State University, and I say that because I'm from Los Angeles, California, and it's the high school that I went to was Los Angeles Center for Rich Studies. So it was very diverse. Some people from all over the world were there, all ethnicities, all nationalities, and I've never been around one type of people. So when I went to Grambling, it was a great experience, and that's just was my norm. And I got to Louisiana, and Grambling, it was a culture shock, and I absolutely was like, oh my goodness, where am I? But I stuck it out, and I absolutely love it. So I'm proud of myself that I stuck it out and just made lifelong friends there. So that's one, and my degree can always go with me, but that experience that I had from sorority is priceless. It is priceless. Another thing that I'm proud of is, again, with my company, Case Kettle Corn. When I graduated from college, I did a lot of stuff in finance, and then I was in retail management. But when I moved to Houston in 2006, I got into human resources and recruiting. So my background is in recruiting, and I knew what that looked like. And I knew I always wanted to be my own boss. So I literally, in 2014, 2 years after I started my company, I just wanted more. I wanted to see what it looked like to be my own boss full time. I called my mom on my lunch break because I was ripping and running, you know, delivering popcorn on my lunch break, just hustling. And I called my mom on my lunch break, and I was like, okay, I need someone to talk me off the ledge. And she was like, what are you about to do? And I was just like, I think I'm turning my notice. And she was like, well, let's talk this through. And on my 33rd birthday, I went skydiving and said that was the day I was going to live fearlessly. 2 weeks later, I had that conversation with my mom, and I turned in my notice, and my boss, she probably thought I was, you know, going to another company, but I was like, no, I'm going to start, you know, do my popcorn company. They were very supportive the whole time. They've always purchased popcorn for me, even then, and so they were like, are you sure? You know, because you're really leaving this good corporate, because nothing was wrong. I just wanted to see what it would look like, and that was in 2014. It's 2017. So I'm proud of myself for that. Another thing that I'm proud of, most recently, I could say, I do great at setting goals. And in 2000 and was this year, so 2016, when they were prepping for the Super Bowl, a couple of my friends, they saw that the Super Bowl was going to be coming to Houston, and so like they were looking for businesses, and my husband sent me the link. Was like, you should totally apply for this, and I did. It was a year-long process to get, you know, included in the book to work with the Super Bowl, and I did. So I'm proud of myself for that.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's good stuff. What is your definition of success?
For me, success, it looks like just being able to, my time, because I've realized how valuable my time is.
Very valuable.
And so being successful, I can just, you know, take vacations when I want, or, you know, plan for them and hang out with my mom and brunch in the middle of the day and giving back to my community, and all of that is what success looks like for me. So.
And I was fortunate enough to be on a panel with you where we did the career deal at the church, and like you said, giving back to the community. I was able to be in a presentation that you did with kids about entrepreneurship, and I'm gonna tell you, like it was amazing. You know, the ideas that you had, and you know how you had the kids active and involved and engaged with the coloring,
Right.
you know, and making their own, you know,
Labels.
labels. Like it was,
Yeah.
like I was digging it. I was coloring myself, you know.
So you're referring to the Popcorn CEOs program,
Yes.
which stands for Children's Economic Opportunities. So that's where I go to different organizations and schools to talk about entrepreneurship using a popcorn company as the example. So it's kind of similar to our lemonade stand, but again, my background in recruiting was in supply chain management, and so that's the approach that I take it from raw materials to logistics, so they can see what it takes to actually put that product on the shelf.
Okay, so hold on. Let's back up a little bit. So not only do you have Kay's popcorn, the kettle corn that you sell, but then you have another, and say that popcorn CEOs. Explain that again. What is that?
So popcorn CEOs as Children's Economic Opportunities. It's where I go into schools or churches and work with different organizations to teach or introduce students to entrepreneurship using a popcorn company as the example. And it's coming from a supply chain management, which is my background. Never throw any of your experiences away.
Yeah, use them all.
Use them all. So I use those experiences that I had as a recruiter, you know, hiring, the customer service, the warehouse, because I have a warehouse. I don't have a traditional storefront. And that's where I got that idea from, was working in supply chain management in the oil and gas industry. So instead of pipes, valves, fittings, riches, I'm doing popcorn. So it's popcorn, sugar, canola oil, sea salt, bags, labels. It's the same concept, but
using it with popcorn. So I know we have other questions for the interview, but I want to make sure I take a little time to where you can say, you know, how you can be reached, because you know, if you're a church or if you're an organization or a school or whatever, the popcorn CEO, like I witnessed it. You know, I was there with the presentation, and again, like I said, I thought it was amazing. So if you're interested in that, how can they reach out to you to get in contact with you to do that with their program?
All of the information is on my website. You can go to kayskettlecorn.com, and there's a popcorn CEO link, and my information is there. You can email me at info@kayskettlecorn.com, or you can call me 832-746-9978. And I'm in Houston, so I'm not hard to find.
There it is.
I'm on all social media. Follow me. Everything's gonna be popping. Be prepared. Everything's gonna be popping that I say. So it's kind of my thing.
It's on
It's on and popping.
All right. So what do you think it takes to achieve success?
First, you have to start. And that's a lot of times we do stuff because of fear, and we don't do stuff because of fear. So you have to start. And so even with, I had an idea for an ebook for years, and I was just like, okay, I just did it, hurry up and did it. So I have Popcoins, it's on Amazon, and I teach, it's called Popcoins, how to make $500 a month with a home-based popcorn business, because that's how I started out. And so, put it in an ebook, but if you have these ideas, just start. Pop is an action word. So when you think about pop, it's exciting, right? You have to do it.
You have to take action.
You have to take action. Yeah. So that's where you hear me with my make your dreams pop is an action word. Take the first step. You've got the idea. Just go for it. You're going to mess up.
Yeah, you're going to fail.
You're going to fail. You're going to mess up, but keep going.
Good deal. Well, I got another question for you. Just reflecting on, you know, your experiences. You know, you talked about, you know, you being from LA, you know, being around every types of people, you know, going to Grambling, you know, getting into entrepreneurship, oil and gas, you know, setting up, doing your own thing, with that process. Through that process, there's a lot of things that you've learned based off of your experiences and that you've been blessed to have. If there's, you know, someone that's looking to get it popping like Kay, you know, what's a couple of things that you could tell them that they, you know, want to make sure that they do in order to be successful like you are?
Okay, you have to plan it out. Do the research. So when I decided that I was going to go into this popcorn business, that's retail, that's food, right? And so I had to find out, what does it actually take to get on the shelves. I had to get the permits. I had
Laws
to
and regulations.
laws and regulations. From
Yeah.
it's different from selling at home to selling to Kroger. I work with Kroger and Williams Sonoma and the Super Bowl and the Houston Grand Opera and major oil and gas companies here in Houston. We just dropped some off for a major company yesterday. They had an event at the Dynamo game. And so you have to take the research and take yourself seriously, so other people take you seriously. Be confident, but definitely do the research. It doesn't matter if you're going to be a scientist, a doctor. What are the steps that it takes to make your dreams pop? You have to go to undergrad. You have to go to grad school. You have to go to medical school. What does that look like? And you can find mentors all the time. They don't have to physically be sitting here with myself like we're doing here, but you can follow people on social media and Google and everything now, and a lot of stuff is accessible.
Social media.
Yeah, find out how they did it. A lot of people.
YouTube.
You can find out how they did it, and then tweak it and make it your own. But you have to start, and you have to write out the plan to what it actually looks like. I still have I graduated from college in 2003. I still have my notebook that I wrote first week of freshman year of all the classes that I had to have, right? So each semester I would just scratch it out. Like, okay, next. Unless they change the classes, checklist. Right? Your checklist. You start with the checklist and find out what it takes. So that goes for everything.
So start, have a plan, have a checklist and check it off. Do your research.
And be prepared.
Yeah. Because
when the opportunities come, you have to be prepared. So.
Well, thank you so much for coming through and interviewing with the Success Chronicles today. I hope it was a good time for you.
It's fun. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah. And thank you guys for joining us with this episode of the Success Chronicles. See you next time. God bless.